Paul Volcker chaired the Federal Reserve Board from 1979 to 1987, and that was a period of extremely high inflation. And Paul figured out a creative way to break the back of inflation. So he's an American hero. So his approach was very creative. Normally, what the Federal Reserve does when they're trying to reduce inflation is they raise interest rates. They raise interest rates, the economy slows, and therefore inflation slows. Well, he couldn't, inflation was very high. If he's going to just raise interest rates, he's going to cause a great deal of harm to the economy and to people who are working in the economy. So it was difficult for him to get agreement within the Federal Reserve and certainly in the community overall to take this approach. So what he did is he said, we're not going to just raise interest rates. We're going to control the money supply, and the market is going to determine interest rates. So by controlling the money supply, of course, he tightened the money supply, and therefore interest rates went up. A lot of harm was done. The economy slowed. Unemployment rate went up over 10%. There were a lot of people who were hurt in the process. But at that particular point of time, it was essential that he break the back of inflation, and he did it. When he left the government, he was frequently called upon to solve a problem where there was a scandal. For example, Holocaust survivors had a lot of funds that were tied up in Swiss banks. He was the one who headed the committee to look into this and figure out what was the fair way to distribute these funds. So there are probably a half a dozen different projects like that that he was called on to because of his high integrity. His height, he was 6'7", towering figure, and he always seemed to be smoking cigars, and they weren't really good cigars either. His clothing was often rumpled. He didn't take great care in how he looked, but he made up for that with his brains and his integrity and his ability to get things done.